Jeff, are you there?
David, can you hear me now?
Yep.
I'm on my laptop.
Oh, good.
I was trying to get it functional. I've been working on it for a couple hours, and I think I've actually got it to a point where this is going to work.
Oh, good.
You can see me, I assume, right?
Yes, you don't have a head, but I can see you. I see your body. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in order to fit in both my arms and my legs, that's the way it's going to be. Is I'm going to be the headless Tai Chi player.
Okay. Uh, been a morning of disasters. Well, not that's probably going too far. But good morning, Bill. Good morning. But after about a week of the camera on the computer working perfectly, suddenly this morning it doesn't work. And in adjusting my separate camera, I knocked it over and it's impossible to get back in exactly the right position. So anyway, that's my complaint. However, is the bridge bad?
The bridge wasn't bad. They are removing a road surface in front of Frosty Water. You know where that is?
I think so.
Just past the connector going toward Chester.
Mm.
So from there to where the circle is going to be,
Yeah.
they've got every construction toy you've ever seen.
Oh, we have to go over that direction today.
Yeah.
So we're going to the ferry. Which may be busy, but anyway, so glad that you could get your laptop working, Jeff.
Yeah, it's not right, and it's not functioning particularly well at all. I'm not going to be able to use it for much, but I got it working for this. So, and I'm just going to leave it set for this and hope that it lasts.
Okay.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Okay.
There you are.
All right.
Okay. Questions, reports?
Not at the moment.
Not really. I've still got vertigo going on.
Oh.
Yeah. The concussion, it's probably gone, but this is a separate vertigo issue.
And Do they know what's going on?
It's, I've had it before off and on. Um, it's mostly, when I lie down or get up, but anytime I move my head too quickly or go like
Yeah.
that and come back, the world swims a little bit, so.
Well, don't do that. So, certainly related to lengthening, since that's kind of been a subject recently. Thinking about really something that Bill's been working on in Gods for a while, so he may have a little better grip on this than you've had the opportunity to, Jeff. But when you are extending or lengthening out and twisting out, the energy is going out logically. And when you're doing the opposite, the energy is coming in. And so one of the really important beginning steps is that you can simply feel that there is energy going out and there is energy coming in. Eventually, you want to feel that flow coming in the inside or yin side of the arm and going out to the yang side. And there are obviously a number of deeper stages of that, but that's where it has to begin. Because if you can't clearly feel the energy moving along your skin, you are going to have a really hard time feeling it moving through your fascia. So the first step is just to get to the point where you allow that energy to move through not only the arms, obviously, but the legs and the body as well. So as you're thinking about lengthening, which is releasing, when you're going out, releasing and allowing that lengthening to occur, also allow the energy to flow out and then to come right back in again. So that's really an important piece. As I said, Bill's been working on that, and I don't know how much of that you already feel, Jeff.
I can't say that I feel I can't say that I feel it's specifically on my skin, but I can kind of feel just the general in or out movement of the energy through my fingers and into my arms.
Okay. So if you can feel it through your fingers and hand and wrist into your arm, the next thing is to feel it through your elbow up to your shoulder.
Okay.
And then when you can feel it up to your shoulder, you want to feel it going through your scapula and eventually to the spine and back.
Okay.
So ideally the lengthening is going all that way too. You're not just, well, we may be primarily, for you at least at this stage, focusing on the arm. It isn't just the arm that's lengthening, it's going clear to the spine, ideally. So just to give you a little bit more to be aware of.
Right.
Probably nothing new for you, actually.
Oh, everything is.
Yeah.
How much do you feel, Bill?
It depends on the day.
Mm-hmm.
I can, on a good day, into the scapula,
Mm-hmm.
um, rarely down the spine,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception of last week when we were talking about moving the very little ball of energy up and then down.
Yeah.
And you mentioned instead of going down the center line, moving it down the back, and there I felt it.
Aha.
Um, but it wasn't a product of necessarily lengthening and out and in. Yeah,
Oh, it's not really a product of
Yeah.
those. It simply is going along with them.
yeah,
Um, and I guess actually to some degree it is a product of that because without being able to effectively bend and extend and twist in and out and lengthen in and out, it's very hard to feel the energy moving clearly. So
yeah. And I will say that I do feel it in my legs too.
good.
Um,
Oh, that's great.
the torso is lagging behind. Yeah,
It it comes after those two areas, after you get the arms and the legs going. Um, and of course, part of with the body is not only the movement up and down of the energy, but the wrapping of the energy, and that is, I think we've talked about, really needs to go not only in the upper torso, but particularly into the pelvis. So always something to work on. I don't want you to get bored.
no. Well, wrapping, I do regularly when I climb into bedding before I go to sleep.
Hmm.
And it starts in the legs very easily, and then I just simply work it up. And
Oh, good.
sometimes I make it quite far before I go to sleep. Sometimes I just fall asleep, but yes, I mean, that's,
Good. Okay.
I've been happy to be able to feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Now, if you can just bring it into.
yeah.
He's never satisfied, is he? So let's do the 8 gates and trying to keep those elements going. And really, I think in this one, I'm just going to say in and out. So thinking of the energy coming in and going out. You okay? You okay?
Yeah, I'm moving a little gingerly this morning, so.
Well, so am I. So actually that in and out begins before we even move, ideally. And we have the energy coming in and going out and coming in and going out and coming in as you start to move and then going out. And let that flow continue as you Just stand for a minute, making the connections to earth and heaven. Aware of your structure, opening all the places that need to open, not letting anything collapse, nor be stretched and tight. And very aware of the breathing. And then going into the 8 gates, in and out, and in and out, and in and out. In and out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and in, and out, and in, and out. And in and out and in, out, in and out, in, out, in and out, in, out, in and out and in and out. Any questions about that?
Um, I've got two questions. Um, when you talk about us also now trying to get the energy flowing through the scapula to the spine and all, when we're doing the physical, is there physical movement of the scapula in what we just did? Because it felt like when I was drawing in and lengthening in, my scapula wanted to come together a little bit, draw together a little bit to draw it in. Should I be doing that or not?
Well, your scapula come in towards each other and then go out towards the spine.
Say, go out towards the spine or away from the spine?
Towards.
Go out towards the spine.
So when you're inhaling and bringing the energy in,
Right.
the scapula come in,
Yes.
and when you're sending the energy out, they go out towards the spine.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's what I was asking. Yes. Okay.
That's really, remember, that's really driven by that circular movement of the elbows.
Okay. I don't think I had enough circularity in there. I was more focused on yeah, I need to have more circularity with the elbows.
Yeah,
But that all fits then.
yeah,
Okay.
the circularity of the elbows, circular movement of the elbows is critical.
Okay.
And
That I'll have to work on. I wasn't focusing on that at all. I was more focused on the scapulas on that one.
yeah,
Okay. My other question is actually for either of you to answer. In trying to get more of a feeling for the energy through the legs, I'm wondering if that starts with feeling more of a deep rooting and more of a connection through the bubbling wells and then starting up through there. Is that how you initially start feeling that?
actually, yes. Through the bubbly
Okay, because
well.
that I am feeling. That I am feeling, but I'm just not feeling it very much further up the leg than that. But as we do this, and I do this more and more and get a little bit by bit better with the lengthening, I'm feeling more of a rooting and I'm actually feeling more of an energy flow through the bubbling well.
Yeah. Um, Well, I can't imagine you're doing this. I'll just simply mention that it's critically important that you don't straighten the knees totally,
No, no, that I don't, I never do.
um, because the energy has to move through the back of the knee as
Right,
it's coming up
right,
or out.
okay, right, good,
Going
okay,
up, although it's moving in both directions. Uh,
okay. Well, good. Those are my two questions.
Okay, good. How was that for you?
It felt more together than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Still lots of stuff to work on, but I didn't feel like one piece of it let go here or there, that it was fairly consistent.
Good,
So,
good. Progress.
Yeah.
So when we take that into the form, it obviously becomes considerably more difficult because of the fact that instead of having a very regular in and out, um, it's all irregular. It's all dependent on um, each posture. So I'm going to go through just the two grasping sparrow's tail and single whip, and then I do it with you, and then we'll talk about it. So just for a moment, I'll say in and out, and so just watch for a moment. So the in and out start when we're standing, and that's, well, we haven't worked on closing and opening. That's eventually what's happening here. Excuse me. So then we have in, out, in, out, in, in, out, in. Out, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Excuse me. All very logical, actually, I think. There's some other places in the form where it's not quite so logical, but anybody have a question about that? All right, let's do it once together. So whether you're focusing on bending and extending, or twisting in and twisting out, or lengthening in and lengthening out, or closing and opening. This should be an energetic movement, not a physical movement. And it can be very small. So in, out, 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 in, out. Are questions in there? Okay. Jeff, any
Nope,
question for you?
nope, not right now.
Okay, so I want you to do it 5 times by yourself. And just open to feeling that flow of the energy. So I just want you to do it 5 times yourself. Jeff, before you do the last one, two things.
Yep,
Um, when you're going from the left side to the right side, you tend to bring your arms lower than they need to go. They do go down, but they don't go down quite that much. I think there's a little,
okay,
um, and really be aware of not stepping, shifting your weight, and then doing a movement. The one where it shows up the most is in single whip. In that final part of the last step of single whip, you step, shift your weight, and then do the final movement. It all goes together.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I definitely know what you mean, and I didn't realize that I wasn't doing that, so thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
I'll
Also,
focus on that,
uh, that tends to happen in tongue in grasping a sparrow's tail too.
right, okay,
Yeah. So try it again.
all right.
Keep thinking about um, the arm movements being driven by the body, not by themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder what year that'll come.
well, it did take it did take me a while. Uh, uh, your tendency is to do this with the arms,
Yeah,
um, and it needs to come from here up through the back and out. Yeah,
yeah, I can, you know, as I'm reviewing in my head what it feels like to be doing it and that, yeah,
yeah, because I've seen you do it. You can do it.
yeah.
But it's hard to be absolutely consistent. One of the thing I would say too, Jeff, is to keep being aware of not only the circularity, but the sphericalness of all the movements. So there should not be a place as you're kind of getting in single whip where it goes back and forth. You know, I've
Ah,
I've
okay,
talked about that
yeah,
movement, the going into single whip being a figure eight.
right, rounding the edge and, yeah,
Yeah, that way it has the curves that allows you to find that.
okay.
Do you understand what I mean? Or,
Yeah,
or
I think I do anyways, yeah, but you're right, I was going through and coming back on the same line, basically.
yeah,
When I went
I
from
mean
one side and then thing
it,
whip on,
it's not huge, I mean, I understand it's
right,
somewhat subtle, but that roundness needs to always be there.
yeah. No, I was not even, thinking about rounding it, so you're right.
You've probably heard me say this before, but Master Joe would sometimes, in the middle of a flow, all of a sudden he would say, "Round your corners."
Oh, yeah. I've heard you quote him on that many times, and I've heard you say it many times, and it never hurts to hear it again.
Yeah. So you're doing the same thing in single whip that I've talked to Jeff about too. Um, the fact that right. So you're out at this point. I'm going to exaggerate this.
Mhm.
It comes in and it goes out and it comes in and it goes out. There's no place where it goes like this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And the other thing is that when you make that step, from the moment that foot is down, the last movement grows out of that. It's not step, shift, make the movement. Yeah, better.
Is there a slight bend to promote the figure eight?
Not to promote the figure eight, there's like been to promote the energy.
Okay. Okay, so if I'm here, what I've been trying to do is stand up straight. And I, that may have,
So I wasn't focusing on that, but here you're bending the spine.
yeah,
I'm trying to exaggerate.
yeah,
And then you're straightening the spine.
okay,
And then you're bending the spine and straightening the spine.
okay.
Yeah. Did you follow that, Jeff? Or do you need to see it larger?
No, I think I'm okay with that.
Okay, all right, good. Ah, in while you step.
I'm stepping too soon.
Mm.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I was over here and stepping.
If you don't get to 100% on that right foot, it's really kind of in the bend of your little circle there, so that as you, yeah, so that what you're trying to do is to get, well, you're trying to get this movement
Mhm.
to move the leg. This moves the leg. And this moves yeah. Another thing, you still have a tendency now and then for the weight to shift backwards a little bit.
Okay.
And I think it's because you're bringing the foot too far forward. So kind of the rule is that ideally in that follow step, you'd like the toe not to come ahead of the line of the back of the other foot.
Okay.
So that if you come to here, it is much more wiggly than it is if you're here. Yeah. So Jeff, when you in single whip, when you rotate out to the right, if you go all the way to 100% on the right, you can make that left an empty step driven by the dantian before you go into completing the posture. Do you understand
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess I was probably going about 80% or so, right?
Yeah. And so what
Okay.
that does is um, it takes away um, what you're trying to do there.
Okay.
I've always stepped too far front.
Yeah.
I was just trying to adjust that, and that's that's a habit that will have to be broken.
Yeah.
And I mean, it obviously feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It allows you to be stable at 100% on the forward leg, whereas with it too far forward begins to not be.
Yeah.
Not enough rounding on that one.
Yeah, but getting
So
better.
once I, yeah, it's a habit I got to break.
Yep, yep. That's better, Jeff. Absolutely. Um, I was going to say something else and it kind of disappeared.
Okay.
Um, oh, I know. Um, you still have a tendency for the arms to go up and down more than they really need to. Um, not, that's not true so much in grasping sparrow's tail. Uh,
Right.
I mean, Peng is pretty much at chest height, and G is also there, and Lu is also there, and An is really pretty much at the same height. It's a different angle.
Okay.
So you don't have to get up high with it.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Okay.
in your single whip, um, your tendency is to accentuate an up and down in that, and you don't need to. It's not particularly bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but we are working towards eventually making the movements smaller, not larger.
Right.
So
Can you do it once facing me with the circuit focusing on the circularity that you're referring to?
yeah, so step, you're circling in, and so you're bending in and twisting in,
Right.
and then bending out and twisting out to 100%. So you can curve there. You're using that curve to make the step, and then right into single whip
Okay.
with the
So
weight.
when you're making that step, you're kind of curving down to come back up a bit.
When you're making a step,
Yeah.
slightly, yes.
Right. Okay.
Yep. You get out here, it's down a little and then up.
Right. Okay. Just so you get that little reeling part and then back up. That's the end of the figure eight, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
so it doesn't need to come down and way down and then up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think in the last one or two I've been making that figure eight big just to try and
Well,
get it into my mind.
yeah. That's okay, at first when you're trying to understand an
Yeah.
element.
Right. Right.
Um,
Yeah, that's where I'm at to try and make it a non-thinking part of that posture for me now.
yeah, yeah, good.
Okay.
Did you have a question, Bill?
Yeah, my very first step was the left foot.
Mhm. So, one thing is you're rotating and sinking into that right leg,
Yeah.
which allows you to rotate and step with the left and then go up.
I think it does make a difference whether I go this way or,
Yeah, well, if you notice, mine does not go terribly far forward,
right,
but it does turn so that when I complete, I'm in a pretty good bow stance.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to find. If they coming forward a little bit like that is fine.
Yeah. Okay.
That answer that.
I'm sorry?
Did that answer that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, what I'd like you to do is do a flow, and don't worry about the in and out through the whole thing, but in that part, and in any time that grasping the sparrow's tail or a part of it and single whip comes up, you can certainly think of it there. But don't worry about trying to do it all the way through. You can play with that at home if you like, but
Okay. Are we doing separate or together?
we can do it together.
Okay.
with that or
Okay.
thinking about too many things.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, I'm try to do that, stay up. Did you have any particular questions, Jeff? Anything that came up for you?
No, not right now.
It looked to me like you were doing better with stepping and moving.
Yeah, being a little more mindful of that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to also work in a bit more circularity in places where I probably hadn't been doing it very well. So,
Uh-huh. So one thing for you, position of the fists in New Tiger. It's here. It's now look at where your fists are.
Yeah.
You're here. They're not in the middle. They're at the lower dantian and the middle dantian. They're separated. The middle dantian is up underneath the base of the scapula. I mean the sternum, not the scapula. And the position is the same when you get into gargoyles. It's here. It's not here.
Okay. Yep.
It just really changes what you're
I
connecting
drifted
to.
into that, and
Yeah. But it's coming. Your wave hands was actually quite good, I thought. That seemed to have had some real progress. Yeah. Good. Well, gentlemen, I think I'll call it a day and let you progress on from there.
okay.
Any other
So,
questions?
David, was this set up? Were you able to see me better?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
I will attempt to do this then.
Definitely better than your phone.
Okay. Yeah, that's the alternative right now is the phone. So
Yeah.
I'll try and do this.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is fine. I could see a lot with this.
Okay. Good.
Good. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Yep, have a good week,
All right.
Jeff.
Take care. Have a
Yeah.
good week, guys.
Have a good week. Yes.